Alright, what's up y'all, it's LakerFan here. As actually by the title of today's video, here to ask, are pure locks now overrated in NBA 2K23? And what I mean by this is what's on display on your screen right now. The 6'7", 97 prim for the Hall of Fame clamps, and then the 99 steel for the Hall of Fame glove lockdown builds. Now, why I feel like these builds low-key are overrated now in 2K23 is because of what we know for the 6'9" to be really good value, the badge tiering. So for instance, with the 6'7", you have Challenger, Glove, Interceptor, and Clamps in tier 3s. These become extremely expensive, whereas with 6'9" and stuff like that, albeit you can only run Silver Glove and Silver Clamps as well, and Gold Challenger, Gold Interceptor, they are all in the tier 2 through tier 1. As for 6'9", you have things like Anchor, Rebound Chaser, Pogo Stick, and Brick Wall in the tier 3s. Now, albeit, you may actually value things like Anchor and Rebound Chaser really highly, and the fact that you can be 6'7" and have them at the Silver and Gold level, that might be pretty convenient to you. So on top of that, the rest of your build becomes extremely hard to build. I mean, as you can see, we're already 97 overall, and all we have really upgraded is the bare necessities of pass accuracy being upgraded, and then 85 three-pointer, which doesn't even have to be 85. It could just be 83 for the Silver Agent 3, or even maybe a little bit lower is shootable as well. But generally, I would advise to go with the highest three-point rating you can get on a lock build, and in this case, it happens to be 85 for the max wingspan 6'7". But nonetheless, we literally just have three-point upgraded, the absolute bare necessity of 75 pass accuracy, and then just the defensive things that you value of being a pure lock. After that point becomes really tough to build the rest of the build. I mean, if we go all in on the rest of it for driving dunk, we can get quick drops, but at that point, you have absolutely nothing as far as ball handling and speed with ball, which maybe some pure locks out there do value stuff like that. Maybe you want to just go down on the driving dunk, go up to like 45 standing dunk, get the standing dunk packs, and that's good enough for you. Although, obviously, if you have quick drops and an 80 driving dunk, you don't get limitless takeoff is the problem. So that is exactly what I'm getting at in today's video, because I hear a lot of talk, whether it was especially 2 months ago and even a month ago, talking about Hall of Fame glove being the most brain dead BS you've ever seen on this game. Well, my thought went to, how do people really make a good 6'7" if it's not just a pure lock? Because realistically, you have to have at least 17 finishing badges. If you get 17, because you have to put like 10 between tier 1 and tier 2 to even unlock tier 3s, then you can run Silver Limitless Takeoff, and maybe you have enough to be able to get like Silver Slithery or Silver Posterizer to just fill in with the other badges after coring it. But like I said, at the very least, you have to have 17 finishing to even get Limitless Takeoff. So if people want to make a complete 6'7", you have to have at least 17 finishing. You have to have plenty decent ball handle, because you cannot just come out here and be a decent ball handler option with 40 ball handle, 37 speed of ball. It just don't work like that. And then you may argue, well, just take rebounding off. That's not part of even being a lockdown anyway. I would argue that, to be completely honest with you. I personally believe that rebounding is a big part of being a lockdown, because if you're 6'7" like this and you have the fact that it's also convenient to have Rebound Chaser and Anchor in your tier 2s, it really does go a long way to have versatility. You can switch on to bigs, and I really do feel with Silver Anchor and Gold Rebound Chaser Hall of Fame box out beast, you can still compete with those bigs 100%. But even if you take those off, you still don't have a whole lot to work with. I mean, we could maybe get to like 70 ball handle. If you try and get to 75 speed of ball off the dribble style, that doesn't really work either. So at that point, you're taking stuff off your build that is pretty important towards you, in my opinion. Not to mention your badges. I mean, this is a tough badge count right here. 25. Maybe you could put all your extras on the defense and stuff like that. The way we're currently at, this is 8, 8, and 8. That is 24, which yes, your badge count reaches 24, but you'd actually have to have 34 to even be able to equip all of these. So you'd have to first of all like apply Silver Anchor, let's say like Gold Chase Down Artist, that's 9 points. Then you have to have at least like 1 Bronze tier 1, so that's like Bronze Box Out Beast. That's for 10 points right there. After that, yes, you can spend the rest, but now you only have 14 points left over. Or in this case, 15. But either way, let's just say that you had like 26 defensive badges. We could go up to here essentially on the defensive rebound. That allows you to now run 2 tier 3s and then core another one, but you can't run all 4 tier 3s. You would have to have at least 34 defensive badges to be able to equip all 4 tier 3s right here. So I don't know if being a pure lockdown at 6'7" is really the value that people say it is, but again, I'm really trying to question whether people really do think Hall of Fame glove is really like that, because this is the type of build you have to even have Hall of Fame glove and be a true pure lockdown. Yes, you could be maybe a small guard that has 99 steel. You're still going to be limited in many different ways. I've seen so many people come out here and do stuff like that on builds that are, say, for instance, like a shooting guard on Pro-Am. But again, if 6'9" are as broken as people say they are, then why does the build only have 90 steel rating for the max? And it can only get Silver Glove. I don't see people really getting plucked that much by 6'9" or anything like that. And if 6'9" 6'7s truly are not the greatest when it comes to the build completion, and just the fact they're generally not versatile enough to do all types of the things that you would want to do in this game, where you can do a lot of catch, run, and dunk off the quick drops. You can't do that. I really promise you can't get quick drops on a build that can still shoot, can still handle the ball, and have Hall of Fame glove with Hall of Fame clamps, and still have enough defensive badges to run all types of the convenient tier 3s. So my whole point of this video, and what we've already talked about a couple times in the discussion of it, is to ask, are 6'7" pure locks overrated in 2K23 now? I truly do believe that's the case. You can leave in the comments what your opinions are and stuff like that as well, what your personal experience is. But again, the only way you could even run into Hall of Fame glove is to be at least 6'7", or I should say at most 6'7". If you go 6'6", obviously you can have that as well, 6'5". It really goes all the way down to like really very minimal heights and stuff like that. Like I said, 6'3", 6'1s, 6 foots, they can all still get 99 steel. When you go to 6'8" though, the only way you could ever run into someone that has gold glove on this build is if they have a max wingspan 6'8". Now, what I think 6'8s are very convenient for too is the fact that they can get 92 or 93 perimeter defense, which gives you the gold clamps, and you also get the 95 steel for gold glove. Plus, being able to get to 93 block instead of 87 compared to that 6'7", so you're able to get the gold anchor as well. Even still, good defensive rebound, good interior defense. This build looks really interesting as far as a lockdown build, but mind you, once again, you have that exact same problem with finishing. Limitless Takeoff, Slithery, and Posterizer are all tier 3s. It becomes extremely hard to be a versatile pure lockdown, and you can't really be a pure lock without sacrificing something between playmaking and finishing, or just for that matter, anything besides the kind of face level shooting. Like 83 probably the best value right here. It's really hard to not upgrade your 3 to max though, so I would just say that's probably the baseline. And then 75 pass ac as well. At this point, you still have to get your physicals, like what's a lockdown without speed, stamina. I understand there's some people that vouch for like it being lower. Not to mention, I'm assuming what most lockdowns do is they just be like, I don't even need vertical. I'll just put this down to like minimum. It doesn't work like that, bro. I promise. It really hurts your rebounding, your shot blocking, your jump contesting in general when you jump at people to contest their shots on the perimeter. Vertical is extremely important as a lockdown too. Even strength, debatably, is actually pretty solidly important. So pretty much what I'm getting at here, I'm really of the belief that it's hard to make a pure lock unless you sacrifice something. And in this case, most of the times it's probably playmaking, but that's a pretty big sacrifice. And that's why you don't see very many people come out here on the park anymore with builds like this. In my opinion, people generally go for the 6'9" builds because you don't have to invest so much into the prim D to steal or anything like that. Generally, they don't even put that much block or interior D on it, which makes it obviously not as much of a pure lockdown. Being a pure lock, I would like to think that it means you can handle anybody that's on you, whether it's a big, whether it's a tall slasher, whether it's an outside point guard that does a lot of like sideways movement, all types of stuff like that. I'm of the belief that you can't make builds like this unless you sacrifice in certain areas, which, like I said, takes away from your build quite a bit. Not to mention, the biggest sacrifice of them all when you're in pursuit of making a build that actually has good glove is the fact that your badge tiering, as we've said before, is completely just nerfed into the ground. Compared to 6'9s, they get glove in tier 1, they get interceptor still tier 2, they get like challenger clamps in tier 2 as well. It's just unbelievably easier to be 6'9", but the problem with being 6'9" is you can't really be a pure perimeter lockdown. You only have 90 steal, it only gives you silver glove. You also max out at 89 perimeter defense, which only maxes out at silver clamps as well, and it really does become harder to be a menacing perimeter lockdown defender that's going to be swiping at the ball like crazy. You really do need that gold or Hall of Fame glove level to be able to just swipe that ball loose from people that have really high unpluckable. For that matter too, what I thought was really crazy at the beginning of this year as well was people saying unpluckable was useless. It was definitely something people said in my tier list videos as well, and what's so crazy about it is, I think as we've all come to play the game a little bit more now, you guys realize that if you're on a 6'9" max wingspan and you only have silver glove, you don't poke the ball free from point guards that actually have 95 ball handle and Hall of Fame unpluckable. It just works like that. It's an impenetrable force that literally just cannot be beat when you only have silver glove. But at the Hall of Fame level with 99 steal, that thing does still get through there 100%. Problem is, like I said, the builds don't provide a whole lot. So where are 6'7" and 6'8" pure locks actually usable at? The answer to this is actually Pro-Am and Stage 3s. Stage 3s, people run very strict lineups where builds like this can't exactly take advantage that much of a small point guard that has no defense. Albeit, he does still have good dunk, good standing dunk, decent driving lay, and decent close shot as well, but has no ability to put the ball in his hands. So the point guard can at least play for a passing lane and live through that. Generally, the lockdown can't put the ball on the ground and actually get past the PG. It's pretty much as simple as that. Or they can score on small point guards, but it's never going to be 4-3. It's going to be hard for you to do anything besides off-ball movement, in which case, again, you don't really have very much ability to catch and run or do anything after the catch and shoot. So Obviously, it works for stage 3s. In Pro-Am, you can also just be kind of more of a corner spot up. You also allow point guards to get away with just having no defense and guarding you in most situations though. But nonetheless, the power of one of these things definitely shines through in Pro-Am. Like we just said with stage though, obviously you allow point guards to kind of get away with having no defense and just guard you in the corner, because this build isn't going to do anything besides spot up corner. You're not going to spot up on the wing with it. You're not going to do too many flare ups or anything like that. You're going to move up from corner to wing and try and catch the point guard off guard. Generally, you can try and backdoor it, but there will be a lot of things that are still being monitored with that, whether it's the backside power forward defender getting in lanes, whether it's the fact that the point guard can still try and play lanes on you as well if you're just doing the corner cuts. Even dudes with 25 steal rating can still get some lanes if they're in the right spot as well. It's not great either though. I will say a lot of the people who make the no steal, no D completely guard builds get really mad using it, obviously, but if you are on a 6'1" that has like 80 steal rating and silver interceptor, you're gonna be able to protect yourself and build like this pretty manageably. So it becomes a question of, is it worth it for being a pure lockdown? Like I said, in stage and definitely Pro-Am, you will see pretty much everybody using 6'7" and pure locks and stuff like that. But when it comes to the park and generally what the casual viewer is going to be playing or listening to or watching, it's probably not worth it, to be completely honest with you, because when I bring a park lineup into the stage or something like that, or for that matter, even a park lineup where we have like a post scorer in the corner and then even a semi post scorer in the other corner, then 2 ball handlers and then me as a 3rd ball handler in Pro-Am, these pure lockdowns get so irritated because they can't even play any actual defense. You just dodge the lock the entire rest of the game, whether it's in the stage or in the Pro-Am, and these 6'7" get stuck off ball and have to sit here and watch or maybe sag down and try and help a little bit in those situations, whether it's Pro-Am or stage. But again, they can't really do a whole lot of contributing if you have multiple different people to go to. And in park, what I mean by that for 3s is, if you come in with 3 multiple different ball handler options, aka the kind of 6-6-9 meta lineup, you're just gonna be able to go away from the 6'7" pure lock, and when it's a stage lineup, quote unquote, that small point guard is going to get dominated on defense. He's gonna have super low prim D. Probably unlikely that he has very good steal rating, but if so, either way, he's still going to get dominated in the paint for free 2-point buckets every play. And those PGs, I've even played with one with AK. They got to be locked in so hard on offense, or else they're not even worth it to their team. They are a detriment and a liability to their team. And generally, if you have the 6'6-9s, you can shrink the floor, you can make it hard for him to even get those buckets. I think just in general, the pure lockdown, pure point guard, pure big man lineups are kind of a thing of the past in 2K. But nonetheless, like I said, they still have their place in very niche, very specific communities and specific game modes and stuff like that. But either way, that's off video. Let me know what you guys think as far as this conversation goes. I didn't put any gameplay, I didn't put any exact builds or anything like that as far as like examples, but I just wanted to talk about the 6'7" pure locks that have the Hall of Fame glove, 99 steal, and what was really causing the most, I would say, sorry for the bad word, but ruckus, like just the absolute most hectic reactions from this community as far as what was broken in the game. I don't really hear people complain about it too much anymore, to be completely honest with you. I don't run into issues with it myself very much anymore either, and generally people are just on 6'9" that only have silver glove anyway. So I want to hear what you guys think. Let me hear if you're still struggling with it. Let me hear if you actually have one yourself and maybe you bailed from it, or if you still use it yourself and you really love it. Like I said, there's plenty of room in the game for these builds, but I think they are massively overrated is the key word in the title of this video. But anyway, that's all for vid. Hope you all enjoyed. If you did, drop a like, sub if you're new, turn on noties, all that good stuff. And like always, try this one to 2,000 likes. If you made it to the end of the video, put lock in the comments, search supports me all the way through. But anyway, that's all for vid. Hope you all enjoyed. Take it easy, man. Peace.